Chosen one, no matter how many times you fall, you always rise. There's something inside of you, something greater than your circumstances that keeps pushing you to get back up. You might have fallen hard, but that's not the end of your story. The ability to rise again after every setback, every disappointment, and every failure is not just luck or coincidence. It is a testament to God's strength at work within you. Resilience is defined as the ability to bounce back after failure, disappointment, or hardship. It's the strength to keep moving forward, even when the road is tough and the weight of the world feels like it's bearing down on you. But resilience isn't just something you build on your own. It's a reflection of God's work in your life. Every time you rise, you are not doing it by your own strength, but by the power of God, who strengthens you in ways you may not fully understand. God gives you the ability to rise because His strength is at work within you, even when you feel broken or defeated. This resilience isn't about always having the right answers, never failing, or never feeling weak. It's about the fact that you keep getting back up because God is there, giving you the strength to rise again. There's a spiritual reality behind the resilience you experience, and that is rooted in God's grace. Just like God restored Job after his devastating losses, Job 42:10, He has a plan to restore you, strengthen you, and elevate you after every fall. Your ability to rise again is not just your willpower. It's the work of God's strength that keeps you going, even when you feel like giving up. So, why do you keep rising no matter how many times you fall? Because God has equipped you with the strength to get back up. And that strength isn't dependent on your circumstances. It's dependent on His power working in you. Resilience is a testimony to God's ability to restore, strengthen, and propel you forward. When you feel like you've hit rock bottom, when everything seems to be crumbling around you, God's strength will always lift you up. No matter how many times you fall, you will always rise. Because God's strength is at the core of your resilience. In this chapter, we'll dive into the reasons why you keep getting back up, the lessons God teaches you in the process, and how you can build your resilience with His strength. You are a living example of God's power to restore, and your resilience is proof that He is with you every step of the way. Resilience is built on the foundation of your relationship with God. When you fall, you don't fall alone. God is with you in the depths, walking alongside you and lifting you up when you cannot stand on your own. It's not just about getting back on your feet. It's about trusting in God's ability to heal, restore, and strengthen you. Resilience begins with a deep-rooted belief in God's promises. When you know that God's plan for you is good and that He is faithful to carry you through every storm, you can rise with the confidence that your setbacks are not the end of your story. Every time you fall, God uses it to refine you, to build your faith and strengthen your trust in Him. Resilience is a muscle that grows stronger with every trial and challenge. Each time you rise after a fall, you are becoming more equipped to face the next challenge with even more strength. The more you trust God during these difficult seasons, the more resilient you become. It's like training your spiritual muscles to become stronger and more effective in the face of adversity. God doesn't want you to just survive these seasons. He wants you to thrive. He wants you to rise higher each time, knowing that His power is made perfect in your weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. One of the most significant lessons God teaches us through resilience is the importance of leaning on His strength, not our own.
When we rely on our own ability to get through struggles, we often find ourselves exhausted, discouraged, and defeated. But when we trust in God's strength, we are able to keep going, even when we feel like we can't take another step. God equips you with the strength to rise because he knows you can't do it alone. In your weakness, his power is perfected. Resilience is about surrendering your struggles to him and allowing his strength to be the force that moves you forward. When you rely on his strength, you are never alone in the process. Why do you keep rising? Because God's strength is in you, and it's his power that propels you forward, even after every fall. Every setback, every failure, every challenge is an opportunity for God to show up and show his glory. You are not defined by your falls. You are defined by God's ability to restore and elevate you through them. Every time you rise, you are a testament to God's grace, his love, and his commitment to seeing you succeed. Your resilience is a living testimony that, no matter what happens, you are never alone, and God is always with you, lifting you up when you fall. Keep trusting in his strength, keep walking in his truth, and continue to rise higher, knowing that your story isn't defined by the falls, but by the strength God gives you to rise again. Chosen one, have you ever wondered why, after every setback or fall, you are able to rise again? It's not just a matter of willpower or luck. It's a deeper, spiritual strength that comes from knowing your purpose in God's plan, having faith in his promises, and embracing the transformative power of trials. Resilience is built on the foundation of your identity in Christ, and understanding why you keep rising is essential to fully embracing your divine purpose. There's a reason why you can't stay down for long, because your purpose is greater than the pain. When your life is aligned with God's calling, the obstacles and struggles you face cannot hold you back. You're on a journey that is higher than the setbacks you encounter, and God's plan for you is far greater than any temporary hardship. When you are rooted in God's purpose, you cannot remain stuck in your failures. Your purpose is a higher calling, and it moves you forward, even when you feel like you've reached a dead end. God doesn't just allow trials to break you. He uses them to build your resilience, because your purpose requires perseverance. Whether it's a job loss, a financial struggle, or a relationship that didn't work out, these setbacks are part of a larger plan that God is using to align you with his perfect will for your life. God's plan is always moving you forward, even when it doesn't feel like it in the moment. The second reason why you keep rising is faith in God's promises. When you believe that God is working all things together for your good, Romans 8:28, you can face each challenge with confidence that you will not be defeated. Faith is what keeps you going, even when the road gets tough, and it is the fuel that powers your resilience. Faith tells you that God will use every setback for your benefit, even when you can't see how. It's this faith that enables you to rise after every fall, because you trust that God has already promised you victory, even when the circumstances don't look favorable. The key to enduring hardships with strength is trusting God's process, knowing that he will never leave you or forsake you. Even when you feel like everything is falling apart, God's promises are your anchor during the storm. The foundation of your resilience is built on knowing that God has already paved the way for your success. Even when you can't see the way forward, you can trust that he has already promised you victory, and that promise will never fail. The third reason you keep rising is transformation through trials. Every time you fall and get back up, you are being transformed into the person God has called you to be. God doesn't just want to see you endure hardships. He wants to see you grow through them. Every setback teaches you something new, whether it's patience, perseverance, humility, or deeper trust in God. Resilience is not just about enduring. It's about thriving through the struggle. When you rise again after every fall, you are not just surviving. You are being refined, strengthened, and made new. Trials shape you into the person you are meant to become. The struggles you face force you to let go of self-reliance and trust in God more deeply. They push you out of your comfort zone, teaching you resilience and endurance in ways that ease and comfort never could. The pain you experience is shaping the strength you need for the future. Every time you fall and get back up, you gain a little more of the strength and resilience that God is building in you. And that strength is not just for you, it's for the journey ahead. God's purpose for your life requires that you be able to handle more, do more, and grow more. Through every trial, you are becoming the person who can handle the blessings and responsibilities God has for you. God uses loss, hardship, and adversity to shape your character, to deepen your faith, and to prepare you for greater things. Each time you rise, you are becoming more aligned with God's will for your life, and you are stepping more fully into the purpose He has designed for you. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back, it's about becoming stronger, more refined, and more aligned with God's plan. As you endure each challenge with faith, perseverance, and trust, God is transforming you into the person you were always meant to be. This transformation is not just for your benefit, it's for the glory of God's kingdom. Your resilience is a testimony to the power of God working in you and through you. When people see you rise after every fall, they will see God's strength at work.
You will become a living testimony of God's ability to restore, elevate, and transform. Your resilience isn't just for your own success, it's for the purpose of glorifying God. In the next chapter, we will explore how God builds resilience in you through testing, pruning, and His grace. As you grow in your walk with God, one thing becomes clear. Resilience isn't just something you can build on your own. It's a result of God's refining work in your life. Every fall, every setback, and every challenge is an opportunity for God to shape your character, strengthen your faith, and elevate you to the next level. God's way of building resilience in you is through testing, pruning, and His grace. Let's take a closer look at how God uses these processes to build the kind of resilience that will carry you through any trial and propel you toward your purpose. The first step in building resilience is testing. Testing is God's way of revealing your true strength. It's not about tempting you to fail. It's about revealing the depth of faith and strength He has already placed within you. God allows trials and challenges to test your faith, not to break you, but to show you how strong you truly are with His strength. Without testing, we would never know the depth of our own resilience, and we wouldn't be prepared for the greater responsibilities and blessings God has for us. Every test is an opportunity to see God's power at work in you, helping you rise above the challenges and keep moving forward in His purpose. What God tests, He equips. Each trial is an opportunity to develop greater endurance, patience, and spiritual strength. Just as a muscle grows stronger through resistance, your faith grows stronger through testing. Every trial builds your endurance, preparing you for what is to come. Testing can be difficult and uncomfortable, but it's essential for your growth. God allows these challenges because He knows that every test prepares you for greater success. They are not setbacks, they are stepping stones to your elevation. The second process God uses to build resilience is pruning. Pruning is a concept that comes from nature, but it's deeply spiritual. Just like a tree needs to be pruned in order to bear more fruit, God prunes areas of your life that are hindering your growth. Pruning can feel like loss. It's the cutting away of things, relationships, jobs, habits, or mindsets that no longer serve your purpose. It may even feel painful at times, like something valuable is being taken from you. But the truth is, God is removing what is no longer aligned with your purpose so that you can grow and bear more fruit in your next season. This is an important part of building resilience because, without pruning, you can't reach your full potential.
Loss, setbacks, and hardships are part of the pruning process. They remove the dead weight that keeps you stuck in the past or prevents you from fully stepping into the future God has for you. While it may feel painful in the moment, God is preparing you for something greater by taking away what no longer serves your growth. He is creating space for what's next, something that is in alignment with your true calling. God removes what holds you back to make room for what's coming next. The third and most crucial process in building resilience is strengthening through God's grace. God's grace doesn't just forgive us, it empowers us to rise again, even when we are weak, broken, or exhausted. His grace strengthens us in our weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. It's through God's grace that we can stand firm in the face of adversity and continue moving forward, even when we feel like giving up. God's grace is not just about the forgiveness of sins. It's the supernatural strength He provides to help us endure trials. When we rely on God's grace, we are able to rise from every fall. Our strength comes from God, not from our own willpower. His power is made perfect in our weakness. This is where true resilience comes from. The ability to keep going, not because we have it in us, but because God is strengthening us every step of the way. When we recognize that our strength comes from God, we can face any challenge with confidence, knowing that He is with us. God strengthens us through His grace, and that grace allows us to rise again after every setback. When you feel like you've reached the end of your strength, God's grace will carry you. He gives you the strength to keep going, even when you feel weak. God is constantly at work in you, strengthening you, refining you, and making you more resilient. Through His grace, He equips you for every trial, preparing you for the future He has for you. His grace is a constant reminder that you are never alone in your struggles, and that He is with you every step of the way. As you go through the process of testing, pruning, and being strengthened by God's grace, you will find yourself becoming more resilient, more faithful, and more aligned with God's purpose. The process of building resilience may not be easy, but it is necessary for your growth. Every test, every challenge, and every setback is an opportunity for God to reveal His strength in you. It is through these experiences that God is preparing you for the next level, where He will elevate you to do even greater things. In the next chapter, we'll look at how to shift your perspective on setbacks and see them as opportunities for growth and transformation. When you're in the midst of a setback, loss, or challenge, it's easy to view it as a roadblock. You may feel like your progress has been halted, or worse, that everything you've worked for has been taken away. But God wants to shift your perspective on setbacks. He wants you to see them not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. As chosen ones, we are constantly called to rise above adversity and look at challenges through the lens of faith and purpose. Instead of focusing on the loss or the disappointment, God invites us to view setbacks as divine setups for something better. The first lesson in shifting your perspective is realizing that setbacks are setups for comebacks. Every time you face a fall, it is God's opportunity to show His glory by lifting you up. Think about the times in your life when you've been knocked down, whether it was through a failed relationship, a lost job, or unexpected struggles. Every time, though it felt like defeat, God lifted you up, stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what was ahead. What seems like a setback is actually God preparing you for a greater comeback. Setbacks are not dead ends. They are detours, divine detours, that lead you to something better. When you fall, it's not the end of your journey. It's an invitation from God to rise again, to move forward in new ways, and to walk into a future that is more in line with His will for your life. Your fall is not final. It's just a step in the process. God uses setbacks to prepare you for something greater, and when you rise again, you do so with new strength, wisdom, and an understanding that God has been with you every step of the way. Another important aspect of handling setbacks is understanding that resilience is built in the journey, not just in the destination. Often, we think of growth as something that happens only once we've reached a goal or overcome a challenge. But in reality, resilience is built in the journey, in the process of going through hard times, of wrestling with doubt, and of pushing through when you feel like giving up. Resilience is formed in the trials, not after they're over. God is working in you just as much as He is working through you during these difficult seasons. The process shapes you into who you are meant to be, not just for where you're going, but for who you're becoming along the way. The challenges you face aren't just obstacles. They're opportunities to strengthen your faith, build your character, and deepen your trust in God. God uses the waiting, the struggle, and the pain to mold you into a person who is more aligned with His plan and more prepared for what lies ahead. Embrace the journey, even when it's difficult, knowing that every trial is shaping you into the person God has called you to be. The third lesson is that perseverance through trials builds character, which builds hope. In Romans 5:3-4, Paul writes, "Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope." The more you persevere through difficult times, the stronger your character becomes. Perseverance in the face of hardship produces hope that doesn't disappoint. Hope is what keeps you going when everything around you tells you to give up. It is the fuel that helps you continue moving forward when your strength is depleted and when doubt creeps in. Hope is what anchors you when the storms of life threaten to overwhelm you. Without perseverance, there is no hope. But when you keep going, even when it's hard, you build character, the kind of character that can handle the blessings that God has prepared for you. Perseverance leads to a deeper understanding of God's faithfulness, and it strengthens your belief that, no matter how difficult things get, God is always with you, guiding you through every storm. So, when setbacks come, remember that they are opportunities to build your character, to deepen your hope, and to strengthen your trust in God's promises. Finally, even with all this strength and perseverance, it's natural to feel worn out at times. Life can be exhausting, and sometimes it feels like the weight of everything you're carrying is too much to bear. During these seasons of weariness, it's important to rest, and to rest in God's strength. Resilience doesn't mean you must always be on. There are times when you need to step back, recharge, and allow God to renew your spirit. Rest is not a sign of weakness. It's a vital part of the process. God created you to need rest, and it's in those moments of stillness and quiet that He refills you with His peace and strength. When you feel weak, God's strength is made perfect in you. 2 Corinthians 12:9. You don't have to carry everything on your own. God is ready and willing to help you rise when you feel like you can't take another step. When you rest in Him, He strengthens you to keep going, even when the journey feels long and exhausting. The truth is, setbacks are inevitable, but how you respond to them determines your growth and your future. When you embrace the process of growth, knowing that God is refining you in every moment, you will find peace and purpose even in the most difficult seasons. Your setbacks are not the end. They are part of the process that leads to greater things. In the next chapter, we will explore how to rest and recharge while maintaining resilience, finding balance in the tension of growth and rest. As we reach the final chapter, it's essential to reflect on the journey you've been through, the losses you've faced, and the resilience you've built. Loss is not the end of the road. It's a pivotal moment in the process of becoming the person God has called you to be. Every trial, every setback, and every hardship you've faced has been a stepping stone, a divine part of God's greater plan for your life. And as you stand here, In the midst of what seems like an ending, know that God is actually preparing you for something far greater. Your losses have made room for something new, something better. The person you were before the loss is not the person you will be after the transformation. Embrace the new you, because God is not only restoring what you've lost, He's elevating you to a higher level of purpose and fulfillment.
This process of rising, of moving through the struggle, isn't about staying the same. It's about becoming better, stronger, and more aligned with His purpose. And just as God led the Israelites through a season of loss, trial, and transformation to bring them into the promised land, He is doing the same for you. The loss, the struggle, the pain, they are all part of a divine preparation for the promises He has for you. You are not defined by what you have lost, but by what you will gain as a result of walking through this process with God. As you embrace this new season, it's essential to remember that God's restoration is not just about replacing what you've lost. It's about rebuilding you in a way that prepares you for the next level, spiritually, emotionally, and relationally. God doesn't just bring back what was taken. He restores and elevates you so that you are equipped to handle greater things. What you have lost, God will restore, but with greater strength, wisdom, and purpose. This season of loss was never meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you for the blessings that are coming. The process of restoration is not just about regaining what was lost. It's about aligning you with your divine purpose so that you are ready for the future God has prepared for you. The old version of you may have been defined by what you had or didn't have, but the new version of you is rooted in who you are in Christ. Your worth is not based on your circumstances, your job, or the relationships in your life. Your worth is anchored in God's love for you, in His calling on your life, and in the identity He has given you. This new season, this new version of you, is about recognizing that you are who God says you are, regardless of what you've lost. You are His child, chosen for a purpose, and your identity is unshakable, regardless of the shifting circumstances around you. As you move forward, trust that God is leading you into a season of greater purpose. Your growth, resilience, and transformation have prepared you to walk in the fullness of what He has called you to do. This new season will require a stronger, more focused version of you. God is building resilience, strength, and faith in you so that you can step into your calling with confidence and courage. The challenges you faced, the hardships you endured, they've refined you. You are no longer the same person who faced those struggles. You have been restored, elevated, and prepared for greater things. What God has for you now is better than what you left behind. Trust in His timing, trust in His restoration, and trust that He is always working behind the scenes to bring about His perfect plan for your life. The losses you've experienced have opened the door for new opportunities that are in alignment with your true purpose. God has been working in the waiting, shaping you, molding you, and preparing you for the future He has for you. Don't look back at what you've lost. Look forward to what God is bringing. This new season is not about what you've left behind, but about the new things God is preparing for you. He will restore everything that was taken, and He will give you even more than you ever expected. The future God has for you is brighter than anything you've left behind. As you embrace the new season, remember that resilience is not about never falling. It's about rising every time you fall. God's strength will always be with you, and His purpose will always prevail. Trust in His guidance, and know that every step you take is part of His perfect plan. The new you, the restored you, is stronger, wiser, and more aligned with God's calling than ever before. Don't be afraid to walk boldly into this new season, knowing that God is with you every step of the way, guiding you into the fulfillment of His promises. Embrace the new you. Embrace the restoration God has for you,
and walk confidently into the next chapter of your life. The best is yet to come, and God is preparing you for it right now. As we close, chosen one, remember that resilience isn't about never falling. It's about rising every time you fall. God uses loss, challenges, and setbacks to shape you into the person He has called you to be. Every trial, every setback is not a sign of defeat. It's a part of the process that leads to restoration, elevation, and alignment with God's perfect purpose for your life. Trust that God is using every experience to bring you closer to your destiny, even when it feels like you've lost it all. His strength is your foundation, and He will never leave you or forsake you. Your story isn't defined by what you've lost. It's defined by the strength and resilience you have gained through God's power. As you walk forward, trust that God is restoring everything you've lost and bringing even greater things into your life. His plan for you is always better than anything you could have imagined, and He's preparing you for that future right now. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe for more empowering content about resilience, faith, and trusting in God's perfect timing. Stay grounded in God's truth, knowing that no matter how many times you fall, you will always rise again, because God's strength is in you. God bless you, chosen one, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep walking boldly in your truth and trusting God's plan for your life.